Hey everybody, this is your girl, CT Connects. How are you? Listen, I wanted to swing by really quickly and just let you know that I have a special thing that I wanted to share tonight. So, Regina King's son, Ian Alexander King, we all know that he passed from suicide. And my heart goes out to her because I have a really, really big heart when it comes to those types of things. People that are struggling and suffering with depression and anxiety. Someone who's never walked the path of someone who's dealt with those types of thoughts of being trapped in one's own headspace can never truly understand how to help. And so it makes you feel helpless. And so it makes you almost feel like, why didn't I know? If I had only known, I could have said the right thing. And so I just want to first and foremost keep her lifted, keep the family lifted, as well as anyone else who struggles with mental health. And we hear that word mental health and it's like, oh my gosh, the first thing we think about is the crazy house and people wrapped up in the white jacket as we see all the time on TV, somewhere in a room, a rubber room, but it's really nothing for us to play with. It's nothing for us to really shy away from. And I really believe that a lot of people would be better off in society as a whole if we took mental health a lot more serious. So for those of you who do know me, you know my story. You know why this is personal for me. And so I'm also in the movie 17 Days, which is about domestic violence. So you might say, well, what does one have to do with the other? Well, let me tell you what. Someone who, number one, struggles with being someone who is aggressive, controlling, narcissistic, bipolar. There's all kinds of things that falls under the umbrella of having mental health problems and concerns. So you would need help. You would need to talk to someone. Make sure that you know you're not alone. Make sure that you understand, okay, I do have these problems. I do have these concerns. But then if you're anyone that has ever grown up in an environment where you were verbally abused, physically attacked, even if you didn't grow up in that way, and maybe later on in life you became exposed to it, those things can make you feel hurtful to yourself. Those things can make you start doubting yourself. Those types of experiences can make you start second guessing your own sanity when really it's not you, it's the other person. And so I just want to make sure that everyone that visits this platform comes away and walk away knowing that this is a place that I can turn to. If any of you are ever feeling like you just can't take it another day, please understand that you can always reach out to me. Please make sure, and it's not so much that, someone's just gonna, say, okay, I have the solution, but at least you know that you can talk to someone who understands. It's not that necessarily people don't love you who may be around, but it may be the fact that you don't even want them to know that you're thinking of hurting yourself. You don't want to look weak to them. You don't want to look like something that they know or have believed and seen you not to be. You don't want to disappoint them. And so you get trapped, you get stuck into this place where you're like feeling so alone, even if you have people around you. And so I just want to leave this message on tonight that you can do anything, even take control of your own thoughts. Do not allow a temporary situation cause you to make a long-term decision. Please understand that you have the power, you have the control to make the choice to try another day, to live another hour, to get out of a situation where you are being abused, where you are not being handled and dealt with properly, like the valuable person that you are. You are worth a lot. You are worth so much more than you may be giving yourself credit for. And don't let yourself feel down or beat down on yourself, because usually if you're someone who's a victim of abuse, what's happened is someone else has been given the opportunity to take advantage of your heart, of your love. And so they'll use opportunities to rob you of your identity. There we go back to identity again. They'll tell you that you're not so smart. They'll tell you that you're not so pretty. They'll tell you that you can't accomplish this. If you have a good idea, the first thing that they're going to say is the negative reason why it can't happen. And so you have to make sure that you start being loyal to yourself. Make sure that you are loyal and dedicated to yourself. If you're in a domestic abusive relationship and you're the one that's taking it, and you're more committed to going to your job and reporting to work 8 to 5, but you're not going to be loyal and committed to your own livelihood, that's not fair. That's not fair. And never forget, insanity is doing the same thing the same way, but you're expecting something else to happen as the result. It will never happen. To get something that you've never had, my loves, you're going to have to do something that you've never done. I am here. Anything and anyone that reaches out to me, it will be held in confidence. I have a really beautiful resume. Unfortunately, for people who have gone through life situations, I've been a marriage counselor. I've been there for families with their children, teenagers who've run away. And so I just want to make sure that you know that if you need someone, please don't hesitate to reach out to me. Nothing about what you see here is fake. This is all real. And guess what? If I can't get you the help that I want to give you personally, then I can and will find someone who will help you as quickly as we possibly can, because you are that special. You are that important. And so we don't want to just be someone who gets out there, on these platforms because I'm trying to get numbers up. I'm here because I have a purpose. And if that purpose means I'm catching you at the right time, at the right hour, then that means you need to listen to this to be encouraged and to know that you're not alone. And it's okay to feel depressed sometimes. It's okay to have anxiety, but then to recognize that for what that is. And let me tell you, I'm going to leave this little tip with you. I went through some things and I was prescribed a lot of medications, and I'm not coming against medications at all because that's not what my platform is. I'm not a physician. I can only speak for what Cynthia has gone through. And the medications were having such a negative and adverse effect on me and my mental health. And a lot of times we'll know that some of these medications will enhance suicidal thoughts. And so what I began to do was, like I mentioned, making sure that I took control of what I believed about myself. Every time a negative thought would come in my head, I would have to have something physically to counterattack that. And it got so physical, y'all. The same way I would reach for a pill and pop it was the same way I'd go to YouTube on my phone or on my iPad, and I would go to something funny or a funny movie, something or a song that I love. I did something physically, even if it had nothing to relate to what my problem was. It doesn't even have to relate, just something to take your mind in another direction. Because what we think about is what we feel. What we think about is what we feel. And I'm going to finish that up in another podcast. You got to start holding on to the true promises for dear life, because this is a matter of life and death. I lived. I'm so thankful that I lived. There's some people who didn't try to take themselves out of here, and they're not here. They don't have a tomorrow to try it again or to change their mind. They don't have tomorrow. They don't have the chance to see the sun, to hear the birds, to see the snow falling. So I want you to understand how precious you are, how real this is, and how much you really, really do know that somebody is here and we care. And if somebody didn't tell you today, what do I always tell you? I love you. And I mean it. Ctconnectsbrands@gmail.com. Bye.